And
Hey!
Oh, that was loud.
Hey, thanks everybody. Found the geek spot again.
Just turn you down a little.
You should turn me up, Frank.
I turned you down on my end.
I'm just so excited. I'm over the top with my volume tonight.
Are you still full of endorphins?
I am.
Endorphins? Is that what it is?
I am. We had to run late because I had to move stuff around in my week, and I had a gym appointment that I had to go to.
Jumping jacks.
No. A lot of kettlebell things.
Burpees.
A lot of kettlebell things. A lot of medicine balls and throwing and things that made me want to throw up because I'm woefully out of shape.
I joined a gym.
You did.
I joined the Planet Fatness.
That's
Can
well.
we get sued for that?
Look, at least now you can go for free pizza night.
Well, yeah.
It really pays for the subscription, the monthly cost of going to the gym. If you go Mondays, you get all the free pizza you can eat.
Well, I looked in LA Fitness, and that's just an extremely insane amount.
Oh, that's a scam.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. But I'm planning on starting on Wednesday because I got hockey tomorrow night. I didn't want to go tonight. So all I'm going to do is start with cardio. So, I mean, aside from the gym sweatiness, how was your weekend?
I was busy. I had a busy weekend. I had a gig down in Maryland Friday night at the Inn at the Canal, which if anybody's down that way, I'm back there in Chesapeake City on November 19th. Oh, place is super fun. It's right on the water. It's gorgeous. And then I had University of Delaware homecoming Saturday.
I saw that.
So back at the old stomping grounds in Newark and watching Delaware not beat James Madison.
Who is a better team, your Delaware alma mater or the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, if Delaware was still on their first quarterback and not their third of the season, I would say it would be a pretty close race. Because beginning of the season, Delaware was actually ranked 10th nationally.
Oh.
In their conference, so they probably could have held their own against a week 8 Eagles team.
Well, not that we're going to go into a sports thing, but the Eagles did trade Joe Flacco tonight.
Did they? I missed
New York
that.
Jets. Yeah, they traded him to the Jets for a 5th round pick.
Ew.
So that means
he can still drive there from Audubon. It's fine.
That means it's probably close to Gardner Minshew time in Philadelphia, which I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I was in the seats I had and the club section were was all paid for by Flacco.
Fancy.
Through a grant. Well, no, I figured I'm an adult, so I can afford to buy a nice seat to a game instead of having to be like, let me get in for free and sit in the student section. I was like, I can actually, buy a ticket and sit second row to the field.
Wow. But you had a good time?
Yeah, it rained a little bit, but it was all right. The marching band sounds unreal.
Nice.
For having a year off, all the kids sound fantastic, so that was cool.
You're talking about marching band stuff. Jack McGinney's not even here. He would
totally
be all about that.
Dude, their drum line is legit, and their pit is unreal. If Jack McGinney listens back.
I know what drumline is. I do not know what pit is in regards to bands.
Pit is the front ensemble.
Gotcha.
With all of the keyboard instruments and actually like electric bass now.
I see.
Which is funny because I was actually the first electric bass player at University of Delaware in the marching band 20 some odd years ago.
Interesting.
With this current director group, we started all that back then, and we did a Huey Lewis and the News medley.
No shit.
Back in 90 something, and and that was our thing. I was playing electric bass and timpani and all sorts of stuff back then. It's good.
That's pretty cool. I stayed true to my word and did nothing except for Saturday. I went to a surprise 50th birthday party for my friend Alan.
Oh.
And actually, so Alan's birthday, happy birthday, Alan, even though you're not listening. Mike, who used to be our number one fan when they did that little thing on Facebook where they gave you number one fan.
Yeah, I remember Mike.
Mike's birthday is today. He turned 50.
Oh.
It's just happening to all of my friends, and I hate it.
Oh, I wonder why.
It's coming up. Mine's right around the corner. So, yeah.
We'll do a live broadcast from like
PAX on my birthday, because that's when it is.
How about the ash burner? We'll do the night before. We'll do a live broadcast from the ash burner.
We could do that, actually.
I know.
We could do that. But other than that, I did nothing. I watched the first quarter and a half of the Eagles game before I went, there's Jack.
28 are you asking if it was 28 years ago? It was not quite.
Or am I 28 and single? Doesn't matter. I'm not on stage.
It was close to 28 years ago, but no, it was just under.
But yeah, no, I literally stayed true to my word. I watched a quarter and a half of the Eagles game, took a nap, woke up, and they were down 30 points, and I played Destiny is what I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually since Jack did join with that UD show, it's they're doing a Spellbound show. It was the theme of it, where they do like a Game of Thrones type storyline and all the costumes and stuff on the field.
Oh wow!
But in the front pit ensemble, they actually have where they're going in and out of like a slow ballad version of "Take on Me," and it cuts in and out of the whole piece, like the 4 tunes. Same thing with "When a Man Loves a Woman." It just comes in with the pit in the front. It's pretty awesome.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
But yeah, that's good. You had a relaxing weekend. I was running nonstop. I watched the Ravens not do well.
I did catch up a little bit on a TV show.
Oh my God, what'd you watch?
The Sopranos.
Oh well, at least it's not the Blacklist. At least you're staying.
Yeah, the Blacklist came back, and I'm not ready for that yet. But Big Pussy died.
It'd be off-brand if you watch something current, I suppose.
Yeah, it would. It would. I mean, why start now? What 36, 34 episodes in? Why start? 34 episodes. Why start?
Cumulative, we got to be close to 100 episodes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, between this and the Crisis stuff. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, maybe that burned me out. maybe that was a little bit too much. Maybe that was a little ambitious on our part.
You're scared of the CW because we did every. If anybody's looking for a back thing to listen to, if you want to hear how much we enjoyed season 8 of Arrow and all the other CW shows that year, there's Nerd Revolution Radio has some back catalog available on the podcast side.
They do.
It was pre-cameras and pandemic, so it was a simpler time.
It was a lot more stressful on my end because I had to carry all the equipment everywhere I went. Now here we are.
Yep.
Set up the screen, go. So I'm going to start off with sad news, but then go to happy news.
Oh, well, that's a good way to do
it. James Michael Tyler, who played Gunther on Friends, he was 59, and he passed away from prostate cancer.
Did you watch the Friends reunion?
I did, and he was on it, and he said that he had it, and basically said, "Hey, I'm gonna die soon."
Wow, I missed the reunion, but
yeah, it was good. It was good. He was on the screen, and
it's good you got that chance at some closure with them. Then
I was very happy. He was in like 150 episodes or something. Like I was reading something, a little blurb, and it said like he didn't actually have a line until his like 33rd appearance, and then they made him recurring.
That's crazy.
Right. So
though regular TV, that's only like a season and a half.
Right. And but he was always a fun little character in the background.
Yeah, I watched Friends a bit, but I was not a huge Friends guy. I know all the pop culture references, but not a.
Yeah,
never binged it.
I went through it like when it was on, and I'll never go back. So I'm safe. That's one of those one and dones for me.
Got it.
I'll rewatch Friday Night Lights before I watch that again.
I have no doubt.
But in happier news, Paul Walker, his daughter Meadow got married over the weekend, and Vin Diesel walked her down the aisle, which was actually really cute to see.
That is wonderful.
That's family.
Wait, is this episode 34? It is.
It is.
This is actually episode 100.
Is it actually 100?
It is. There was
Technically?
66 episodes, it looks
Holy
like, of
crap.
Nerd Revolution Radio.
Wow, that's almost a milestone.
So happy anniversary to you there.
Happy anniversary.
It might be wrong because towards the end of the Nerd Revolution there, you got a little loosey-goosey with the numbering.
Yeah, I tried to do seasons, and I lost track of where we were, and there was no rhyme or reason to that. It just kind of happened.
And Giramar has us here with Peter Scolari Did Die.
Peter Scolari is the other one I was going to mention. Thank you, Pete. Most people might not remember him. He was the other bosom buddy. It was
He was
Tom
also
Hanks.
in Newhart for a long time.
He was in Newhart for a long time.
And he replaced Rick Moranis in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids series.
Did he? I didn't know that.
And the show Evil, which is on brand. Look at that.
Ooh.
With Mike Coulter of Luke Cage fame. The show, he was on there. He played like the
Bishop Thomas Marks.
Yep, he played the bishop of the archdiocese that represented them on that show. He was great, and he was great in everything he did over the years, and he always worked.
Oh my God, he was in Blue Bloods.
Yeah,
he was in the Murphy Brown reunion show.
He was. I forget who he played in that. But
Fred Noonan, as I'm looking at his IMDb, he was on Gotham.
He was He was
Commissioner Loeb.
Yeah,
I totally did not realize that.
He did a lot of work.
He was Ray Palmer in Batman the Brave and the Bold TV series, in the episode Sword of the Atom,
which I still have to get around to finishing watching that. That is a fun show, and that's the take that I'm missing.
Wow.
In the DC movie still.
Is that Brave and the Bold take? Boys too?
Oh jeez.
What a movie that was. You know who was in Sorority Boys?
No.
Michael Rosenbaum of Smallville fame, who has a podcast.
I had no idea.
Yes. This weekend, Saturday Night Live's Colin Jost broke Seth Meyers' Weekend Update host record of 154 episodes by sitting in for his 155th Weekend Update on Saturday night. Michael Che is at 147 episodes and is also going to break that record later this year.
Which I don't know if you're current on Saturday Night Live with your busy nightlife schedule.
I watch highlights now and then when I see funny stuff, and I have not gone and watched this past weekend's highlights.
But the Weekend Update has consistently been fantastic.
My favorite thing that I always go back and watch is when they write for each other and they don't tell each other.
They usually end the season with that. Yeah,
it's one of the funniest skits on television.
Well, this week you had Sudeikis came back.
I saw that, and I want to go back and watch.
He lays into Colin Jost for baby trapping Scarlett Johansson. And it's fantastic.
Well, I have something for him in a minute. So Weekend Update was created by Chevy Chase in 1975. And at the time, he was joined by Saturday Night Live writer Herb Sargent. Some of the most notable people that have been on Weekend Update and have hosted were Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin, you slut, Bill Murray, Dennis Miller, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, who Amy Poehler started with. Oh no, I didn't miss him. I'm not going in order. Jimmy Fallon, Cecily Strong, and my absolute favorite, Colin Quinn. Yes. No, it was Norm Macdonald. Colin Quinn was terrible. Colin Quinn is a great comedian. He was terrible on Weekend Update.
Well, so they had to put Colin Quinn in because they had to get rid of Norm Macdonald because he wouldn't stop bashing OJ.
Right. That was from the head of NBC at the time, who was good friends with Mr. Simpson.
And I mean, that's the Weekend Update segments where I fell in love with Dennis Miller.
Yep.
And just got to know him and watched him for the next 40 years almost.
And what was it? Seth Meyers and Amy Poehler were together for quite a long time.
And Tina Fey. It was Seth Meyers and Tina Fey. because they were the head writers of the show.
Yep.
And typically the head writers of SNL are now just do Weekend Update.
Right.
Because Colin Jost and Michael Che are the head writers now.
Right. And Colin Jost can write his own ticket because he married Scarlett Johansson. And now she has lots of Disney money.
And he trapped her. He baby trapped her.
He baby trapped her. I'm going to watch that today or tonight after we're done here.
I'll be honest with you. This whole season's been great so far. Even the Kim Kardashian episode was very well written because it's nonstop Kim bashing the Kardashians.
Okay, that could be fun.
Oh, it's great. I mean, she has people come on playing Machine Gun Kelly and Megyn Kelly and Courtney and Travis Barker was himself. No, he was on the next week.
Right.
But like she had all these people come in and she just bashes the entire family. And Chloe and the mom were actually on the show, even helping bash the family. It was great.
Well, it's good that they can kind of do that to themselves because everybody else does it to them all the time.
And last week had Rami Malek and Daniel Craig showed up for a few skits.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's been a solid season so far.
I usually I'll Google like this past weekend update, and then I fall down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I watch every week. I've been usually Sunday mornings I watch because I'm old and don't stay up that late.
Yeah, that's Margot Robbie. She's cute. We like her, right?
Sure.
She's got a Barbie movie.
So young.
She's got a Barbie movie coming out where she plays Barbie.
Yeah, I heard did they cast Ken?
They cast Ken.
Oh,
give you guesses.
Is it a Ryan or a Chris?
It's
got to be a Ryan or a Chris, right?
It's the shitty Ryan. It's the shitty Ryan.
Oh,
Gosling. Not.
Oh,
well, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds took a break from acting. He just did a movie with Will Ferrell, and he decided to take a break from acting, and he posted it on his Instagram, and his wife replied immediately with Michael Caine did it first.
Yeah.
Was her reply to him.
Well, I don't know if you've heard any interviews with Michael Caine, who is assumed retired.
Right.
He says, "I never retired, just people stopped calling me, and they all assumed I was retired."
Oh, that's funny. Did Batman ruin his career or something?
He did like one or two things after that, and then just people stopped needing Michael Caine. I think there was a younger model that replaced him. I forget who it was. Maybe it was the guy from Cocktail.
Jeremy Irons?
No, Brian.
Isn't he? Didn't he pass away?
He probably did.
Oh no, that's Brian Dennehy. I'm thinking of.
Wow.
You said
nothing
Brian.
like Michael Caine.
You said Brian, and then you went to Cocktail. I went right to Dennehy. Okay, I don't know how that happened either, because I don't even think Brian Dennehy's in Cocktail.
Is he the dad? Maybe.
I don't know. No. Oh. Now I have to look up Cocktail because now I have to know who this was. Ryan Gosling is Ken in the Barbie movie. The fact that we have a Barbie movie is outrageous right now.
Is it? There's 3 He-Man series in the works or a movie.
But that's...
We're on the 7th Transformers movie.
But that's He-Man. Brian Brown was Doug Coughlin.
Yeah, him. That guy. I thought he was Michael Caine when I was a kid. I couldn't tell the difference.
Ron, no. There is no Brian Dennehy. What the hell?
I don't know. Well, there is a Brian Dennehy. He just wasn't.
Not this. Gina Gershon was in that. Ooh.
But it was really about Elizabeth.
Anyway. Yeah.
Who was a last minute casting? She replaced somebody else in that movie.
So we got a Ken and we got a Barbie, and now we're getting a freaking Barbie movie.
Who's gonna be Stacy?
What's Stacy? Oh, wait. Nope, not yet. I need one of those technical difficulty things.
Am I still there? Am I gone? Am I still
You're
here?
Vocally here.
Okay. I could be the thunderstorms.
Well, it's thunderstorming in Germantown. Oh, there you go. You're back. I could see the mandolin, so yeah, you're back.
God damn it.
You were happy to see that on the stream, weren't you?
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't catch it till 50 minutes into my set, so
I was long gone.
I know.
I know I've mentioned it before. Wheel of Time, November 19th.
That's soon.
Yes, I am personally very, very, very excited for this series to come out. That's coming out November 19th. I'm going to bring it up every week until it comes out.
So everybody, you have just enough time to read the first chapter of the book between now and November 19th.
You could skip through the first book a lot because it's a lot of scenery. He loves scenery. There's 14 books, and probably 8 of them are scenery if you condense it.
Do we know how far the first season is going to go through the books?
So what they said was they're going to take the first 2 books and they're going to combine some of the story, and they're going to push some of the first book into the second book. So in the first book, there's a major character that they meet, and they only just cast her now after the first season's been done. It looks like they're gonna take, when they go to this specific city called Camelin, they're gonna put that all in the second book. But it's a big major part of the first book, and I don't know. It's got to be hard there's hundreds of characters in this series.
Are you excited to learn how to properly pronounce all of the things in the book?
You know what? There's a lot of debate over how to pronounce the names and the places in the book, and there's a couple that reads. I don't know if they're a couple. There's a man and a woman, I forget their names, that do the Wheel of Time audiobooks.
Oh.
I would know this, but I was
if you were a fan of the Wheel of Time series.
No, I'm very much a fan. I just I wasn't prepared to. Michael Kramer is one of the guys.
Is that the guy from Seinfeld?
No. Michael Kramer and Kate Reading have done them all. But they just announced that Rosamund Pike is actually going to read the first book, and they're going to release that also. So she's going to do it.
I could listen to her.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Mythicquest. Remember Mythicquest?
I do. Did you ever finish Mythicquest?
I don't remember where I left off.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Probably
I don't think you started season 2.
I don't think I did. But they got season 3 and 4 greenlit.
Which is great. I mean, their end of season 2 is actually a great series ending.
I know what happened. Because I read it. It was in the damn blurb that I read about season 2 and 3.
Yeah, so season 2 had a great ending.
Right.
And how they got there was really cool, and the actors on the show are fantastic.
I love the actors on the show.
Now, I don't know how long it'll be till it comes out, because they're in the middle of shooting Always Sunny.
Well, according to this, season 3 should be before Ted Lasso season 3 in 2022.
Oh.
So,
all right.
Ted Lasso has season 3 coming up, and there's a possibility of them changing the show for season 4. I don't know how they're going to do that, but I don't know what that means.
Well, Ted Lasso was written and proposed as a 3-season show. So it had a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Right.
So to continue that,
they would have to change the show up and go somewhere different or something different.
Right. You'd have to refocus.
Right.
Or yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they would do that. Because I feel like when you go in with a 3-season story arc, it's a much tighter story being told than the ones let's say the guy from Manifest was like, I had an 8-season story I wanted to tell. And they're like, well, you're not getting 8. You're going to get 4. Maybe. You're going to,
Right.
So, or Lost, where they're like, just keep going. Tell it. And when you get to the end, make it up.
There was a thing on Twitter where Rob McElhenney did a FaceTime with Anthony Hopkins, who was in an episode of Mythicquest and was nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah, I don't remember him.
Right.
For some reason.
There was a FaceTime between the two of them, and he kept getting his name wrong, and it was a really little funny bit, and he called him Ron, and he called him something else, and then he had no idea what show he was in. He didn't remember it, and then halfway through the phone call, like a call wait, how the call waiting thing comes up on the FaceTime, and it just said Suds, and he answered it, and it was Jason Sudeikis. And Anthony Hopkins was asking if he could be in Ted Lasso. And Jason Sudeikis says, yeah, we'll get something over to you so you can audition. And Anthony Hopkins' face was just like, audition? What? And then it ended. It was really funny. If you want to go look for it on the Google. So Ted Lasso season 3 will be out, but Mythicquest season 3 should be out in 2022 before Ted Lasso. You froze again.
Got it. Did I?
Oh no, you didn't freeze again.
Oh
You're
no,
just
I just
deep in
wasn't
thought.
moving.
Yeah, no,
I was.
I
I was trying to figure out when Hopkins was on. So it's on probably the episode that you are at, the Everlight special episode.
Oh, okay.
It was the one in between the seasons. He was a guest narrator.
Gotcha. And he got nominated for an Emmy for that?
I guess. I mean, that was a fun episode.
I mean, Don Cheadle got nominated for an Emmy for 30 seconds of air screen time, so.
Yeah, I mean, he walked in and said, "Hey, all right," and then walked back
out. HBO and David Chase are in talks for what could be another prequel movie or prequel series of The Sopranos.
No.
I still have not seen The Many Saints of Newark. I've heard from people that it's amazing. I've heard and read that it's awful. I'll watch it eventually. Sopranos is only 6 seasons. I should be able to get through that.
Well, so let's ask this. So you're rewatching The Sopranos.
Yes.
How's it hold up as a watch? Is it slow?
It's slow. It's definitely slower, and you figure there's a lot of talk about beepers, and they still use payphones to talk about the business, and now they're just now starting to use cordless phones and cell phones. It's interesting. Ooh, there's thunder. It's definitely interesting. I'm curious as to how, as I get further along, because I'm in the middle of season. I just started season 3, so I mean I'm moving at a pretty decent clip. Yeah, I'm moving at a pretty decent clip. This is the season where Joey Pants comes in.
Oh no! Yeah, I think that's the season I started watching.
Yes.
So yeah, but I always found a lot of this, particularly HBO shows in general, tend to use all of the time given to them in those 13 episodes to tell a tight 6-episode story.
Yeah.
Spread out over 13 episodes.
Yeah. They're long. They're like 55-minute episodes. They're long.
Yeah. They could have all been like 35.
Probably some of them.
And still just really driven home all the...
Yeah. Some of them could have, yeah. There's still the weird, like, gratuitous nudity scenes that you don't need, and there's, like,
Yeah, and you saw them all again on Sons of Anarchy with the same talent. So.
Basically.
Anyway.
January 2022, we're going to get season 4 of the Ozark.
First half.
Yes, we're going to get 7 episodes, and then the final 7 at a later date. I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. I'm not a fan of this new Netflix methodology of, sure, we'll keep the season short, but we're going to split them up.
Nope, don't like it. Don't need it.
I'd rather they go to weekly.
Yeah, me too.
They're going to do that. Instead of that one binge pop. Not that I don't enjoy saying, hey, here's my weekend planned out.
Yeah. I don't like that either. There's no reason to split it in half.
Yeah, like I said, either go weekly or drop it all at once, but the like half a season and then
right.
Unless it's written that way, specifically to be a half season and you have a legit cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And like break. Because I feel like Masters of the Universe not really great. Lock and Key season 2, that just dropped, didn't it? Charles? I see Charles just finished that.
That's a binge watch and a half if that just dropped, huh?
Yeah, I feel like it dropped within the last few days. Maybe Friday it dropped.
I've heard of it.
I have the first season on my watch list still. I know it was based on a graphic novel. And it looked very interesting. I didn't think it would be picked up for season 2 before, so I hadn't ended up watching it. But was it good, Charles? If you give it a thumbs up, I'll probably end up adding that to my soon to watch list because I'm
Me too.
Yeah, Frank's list is in the next 7 years. He'll watch it.
It's like this big.
Yeah,
it's bigger.
But I'm running out of shows now because things keep ending.
Sopranos, Friday Night Lights,
Sons
of Anarchy.
Nope.
Battlestar Galactica.
Nope. Watched them all already. I'm good.
Damn it.
Titans just ended though. The new Titan season.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I'm 20 minutes into episode 1 of season 1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the new episode, you get a really interesting portrayal of Scarecrow.
Oh, okay. I did read that.
And a little bit of like the Titans are in Gotham this season and kind of burn the whole city to the ground and then just bounce.
Oh, well, there's that.
It's kind of where it ends up. Like there's but it was a good season. I was happy with where it ended. The Titans are back. They're going back to San Francisco. We'll see how that plays out. But I think there's some interesting characters they can bring next season because they do keep expanding the
lost symbol,
the mythology. That the lost symbol is the Dan Brown, the 4th book, I believe.
Oh, the Da Vinci Code guy.
Yeah, the Tom Hanks did the 3 movies, and then they're doing a series. Did he do 3? He did 3, all 3, right? He did Inferno.
Yep.
So yeah, this is the 4th book in that series with Robert Langdon. Langdon, is that right? Langston.
Yep. Logio?
No, wasn't he in Small Soldiers? Anyway.
Maybe. I was going to read about this Gladiator 2 thing, but it's long and I'm not going to bother. Basically, they're Ridley Scott is officially working on a sequel. There are theories as to how Maximus Aurelius Decimus Seminimus comes back from the dead.
Russell Crowe.
We could go there.
Okay.
I think you just recast him as Mel Gibson and just get on with it. I'm kidding. You can look it up. Maybe next week or something. I'll better prepare that list of why. But there's a lot of reading in it, and it's all a bunch of theories. And I like theories more than I like fan art. So we're gonna skip that, and I'm gonna slide right over to the Star Wars news that came out last week. Last week? Yeah, it was last week.
I don't know. Is Snoop Dogg in it?
It is not Snoop Dogg. This is according to THR. Hayden Christensen will play Anakin Skywalker in the Ahsoka series, which takes place 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, when Anakin Skywalker is dead. It is unclear how Anakin would return for the show, but speculation would lead to either as a Force ghost or in flashbacks.
So, not a fan of that.
No,
because it doesn't do anything to advance the story. And if unless this is to accommodate people that did not watch Clone Wars, which is possible, because to intro Ahsoka in a better view than they did in The Mandalorian, and give her own show and provide backstory for her, you need the relationship with Anakin.
Right.
Though they would have to de-age Hayden at this point.
A little bit.
Because he trained Ahsoka between Attack of the Clones and
He would
Revenge
have to
of
be the Sith.
She was already gone by Revenge of the Sith.
Right. You can't have old Scarface showing up.
No.
So and he wasn't a dad. This was pre-kids, right? It was pre-kids.
It was that was all Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
It was before all that. Where she had left, she came back and they worked together in the Clone Wars, the last season.
Right.
They ran into each other right before Order 66 happened.
Right.
But I mean, to properly tell the story of Ahsoka, you need to tell the story of her relationship with Anakin. And your viewership for these live action shows on Disney Plus, I'm sure, are leaps and bounds ahead of the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels. So they do need to, if you're going to have that be a major driving force for the character, you'd need to do some flashbacks and tell that story.
Right. If it's flashbacks, and if they give him if they give him, I feel like they're going to give him better material to work with than he had in episode 2.
Oh, the writing will be way better. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, maybe not.
Hopefully.
I mean, honestly, there's not a lot of talking in Mandalorian, so it's hard to say if the writing's going to be better.
It's true. That's true. I did see the Snoop Dogg thing. It's he just basically dropped a video where he's in Mandalorian armor.
Well, it was filmed at the Scum and Villainy Cantina.
I didn't watch it yet.
In Hollywood.
Gotcha.
Is where they recorded it, which is where Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin do their podcast.
Yes.
Their imitation podcast of this one.
Right. That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
There was DC news. I'm gonna skip the Marvel Phase 4 movie thing that we already did. We don't need to rehash that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Marvel stuff coming up. Eternals, is shortly arriving.
2 weeks.
A week and a half. Yeah.
Week and a half. Got to get tickets.
Well, no, it's next week. Next week it'll be out.
Is it next week?
The 4th.
The 5th. Yeah. Well, next week.
Night of
I got to get tickets for that. Got to get tickets, and then Spider-Man this year.
And I just have to keep dodging all the spoilers for it until then.
I've done the same thing.
But apparently it's going to be pretty big deal once the end credit scenes are.
Yeah, I'm dodging. Like I said, I'm dodging like.
And I've seen interesting takes where I've seen some takes saying that Chloe Zhao, I think that's who directed it.
Yes.
Flipped the entire Marvel formula on its side and reimagined it, and other ones saying it's just the same old Marvel movie that we've seen 100 times. So I'm intrigued to form an opinion about that because I have zero expectations, and I usually get more impressed at the movies when I have no expectations of them.
I don't pay attention to critic reviews as much because they're never how I look at a movie. They're, and two things that I've seen. One thing I saw, well, not spoilery, but I've seen some really bad reviews of it that I haven't read, just headlines. Well, it's boring, same like you said, same thing. And then I've seen other reviews where it's great. And then apparently there's one thing where they have the first Marvel Universe sex scene.
Oh.
And all I read was the headline is that they needed this, and that it's to tell this story, and it's a change for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, there's some quality people in there for that scene, so I'm intrigued to see how that works.
I would assume, and again, I haven't read any. I refuse to read anything about this because of the spoilers. I would assume that it would have to be between the King of the North and his girlfriend or wife or whatever.
Yeah, but do we know who that is? Which character that is?
Robert Madden.
Well, I know that. I mean, is it going to be...
Oh, it's Superman.
Is it going to be Cersei, or is it going to be...
After
the news that came about Superman, it absolutely could be Superman. It's cool.
That's true, because Superman apparently is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now.
Oh, no, I more meant the other news about Superman. But
anyway. What other news about Superman? Oh, that other news about Superman. Yeah, we talked about that last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you explained that. As far as DC goes, and we'll wrap up with some DC stuff. This was an interesting story that came out today and you weren't happy when I texted you. Brendan Fraser is going to play the villain on HBO Max's movie Batgirl. Now, there's two conflicting reports about this. The first report said that he's going to be playing Firefly.
I saw that one.
The second report that I said, that website updated again, and it said that he's actually going to be playing Carmine Falcone, who is being played by John Turturro in The Batman by Matt Reeves.
Now,
I
don't know that I buy Brendan Fraser as a Falcone.
I don't buy him as a bad guy. It's hard to buy him as a bad guy right now.
No, he just played a bad guy in some show on USA or one of those channels.
It was supposed to be really good too,
yeah.
Right? Like really, really good. He was a CIA guy. Is that the one?
Yeah, his character on Doom Patrol right now, Robot Man, is ridiculous. What they're doing with him, and for not actually being there, the voice acting he's doing to portray his character is fantastic.
Let's see, what was it? It was The Professionals.
That sounds right.
Yeah. He's Peter Swan. That's the one with Superman. The other Superman, Tom Welling.
Oh, look at that.
Tom Welling's in that.
You mean Clark?
Yeah, Clark. Yeah. He's not Tom Welling. He's Clark. But there's that. it's interesting to see how that's going to turn out.
Yeah,
Who he's going to end up playing. He's definitely in it. It's on his page now, and it's in pre-production. So
I don't know what take they're doing. I feel like the Batgirl show is probably going to spin out of the Flash movie for somehow.
Oh, well, yeah.
Is what I think's going to end up happening there, because they're not going to do a traditional take on Batgirl.
No, probably.
So I don't know if they're going to use this to gender flip their Batman Beyond.
Well, there apparently is going to be one. There's going to be the real Batman left at the end of this Flash movie, and they haven't said, but all bets are going to say that it's going to be Michael Keaton's Batman.
Right, which we'll see how that goes.
Right. So
because then you essentially write Batman out of any other movies for that.
Right. Basically.
And you already have essentially written Superman out,
and you have in that trailer, and I didn't notice this before, I watched a couple of Easter eggs, but the second Ezra Miller Flash that's to the left, the one standing in the background,
the one wearing the Batman costume,
he's wearing the Batman costume that I didn't realize
that Andy Muschietti posted a while ago. It's the Batman 89 costume colored like the Flash with the Flash symbol painted over the Bat symbol.
Right, which is interesting.
Yeah, I'm not even cautiously optimistic. I'm
not
cautious,
even a little bit
cautious about how they're going to do that Flash movie, because it's not Flashpoint. Everybody needs to stop calling it Flashpoint.
Well, is it?
It's not, because the coolest part about Flashpoint was the backstory, which is what everything that was going on around them, which they're not doing in this. They're doing like a multiverse story. The coolest part of the Flashpoint universe was, one, it was Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, and Martha was Joker, because they were both so broken up about Bruce getting shot in the alley instead of them that Martha went crazy and became the Joker.
Right.
And Thomas became Batman to stop her. And Aquaman and the Atlanteans and the Amazons with Wonder Woman were going to get married at some point to join, and it didn't work out. And so there's a world war going on between Atlantis and the Themyscira.
Isn't Michael Rosenbaum in that cartoon?
I think he played the Flash or Green Lantern or somebody in that, right?
He definitely played someone.
But not even the cartoon. The cartoon doesn't even do it justice.
No?
No. I mean, I finally went through and I read the original comic series and like the 50 spin-offs that tell that whole story. But that was the most interesting part. Because there's no Superman, because Superman was landed in Metropolis instead of Smallville.
Right.
And it was just kept underground. Yeah.
Right. And he never got the sun, and he never got to grow in the muscles, and he was all thin and gaunt.
Yep.
My friend BJ said that Brendan Fraser played a good gangster in No Sudden Move on HBO Max. Also.
Okay.
That's something that I might watch. I like gangster shows.
Clearly.
So here's the thing we can do for the end now. We can talk about the Ruby Rose stuff. Or we can go fun, and I can go through this quick little list of what if the MCU was made in the 90s and the actors that they have listed. As much as I think the Ruby Rose thing deserves some news, it's easier if you just Google that.
I think another week, and we'll see what else comes out with the Ruby Rose. Will make it more interesting to talk about.
I think that's good. I think this MCU thing is more fun.
And I'm not sure why Ruby Rose came out now with all of that.
No, I'm curious to see what the angle is on that, because there's a lot, because she came out with stuff, then the studio came back, and she came back with more stuff, and I like what you said. I want to see where the dust settles in another week or so with this.
And then we can kind of take a bird's eye view of it and look at the whole whole scenario.
So this was posted 3 years ago on the Marvel Studios Reddit. And it's, what if the Avengers was made in the 90s? And it looks like they just really threw 90s. Like they just went down a list of 90 stars and threw them at characters. So I want to see what you think, and we'll run through these kind of quick, because there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Captain America, Brad Pitt.
No.
Winter Soldier, John Stamos.
No. Not even close.
Falcon, Eddie Murphy. Now,
no.
Are you basing these on the characters, the actors that are portraying them now, or are you thinking in your mind?
No, even back then.
Okay.
Like, if there's one thing Brad Pitt does not portray, it's like the average American
Now, again,
way.
Remember, this is the 90s. They were much younger. Okay.
I'm thinking Legends of the Fall.
Okay.
Thelma and Louise.
You're going to love some of these are really, really good.
This is right after he was in an Interview with a Vampire.
Yes.
Which I would not have said that guy should be Captain America.
No. And
if you're going back then, you got to go.
You're a hard no on Falcon, though.
Yeah, no, Eddie Murphy for Falcon, no. No, Falcon should have been Wesley Snipes back then.
Okay. He is not on here at all. How about Scarlet Witch, Alicia Silverstone?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Hawkeye.
I mean, if you want a dumb Scarlet Witch. But...
that's so bad. Hawkeye, Christian Slater.
Oh.
He's got the attitude for it.
He does, but he's a better villain.
Yep, I agree. Ant-Man, I don't like at all. Matthew Broderick as Ant-Man back then?
No.
No.
I would never cast Matthew Broderick in an action movie.
No. Like I said,
he probably broke a hip doing the twist and shout in Ferris Bueller.
I think they just threw names at a blackboard. Iron Man, Tom Cruise, obviously he was almost cast as that in the current.
I would go him as Ant-Man.
I don't think does he have the comedic chops to be an Ant-Man? I guess the way they made Ant-Man in this one.
I mean, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's
funny.
True. He was great in the movie that we can't watch anymore. Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
I just bought that on Google just to make sure I had it.
Nice.
Oh, look at that. Kurt Russell as Wolverine. That's a good pull.
Especially
90s Kurt Russell would have been great.
Spider-Man, Leonardo DiCaprio. Now this is Kid Leo. Young Kid Leo, not today's Leo.
No, I know. This is What's Eating Gilbert Grape era.
Yep.
Leo.
Yep.
I would go Leo Captain America.
I don't
over Spider-Man.
I don't know.
Or Hawkeye.
Maybe Hawkeye. Black Widow, Mila Jovovich.
Oh yeah, all day.
Okay.
Big fan.
Black Panther. They cast Denzel.
90s Denzel?
90s Denzel, maybe?
Maybe.
Vision, they have Ethan Hawke. No? As Vision?
No, not as Vision.
No.
You need like an egghead for Vision back then.
Yeah, I can't even.
I would have gone like Michael Keaton for Vision.
Okay.
Back then, 90s Michael Keaton, like Multiplicity era, right?
Yeah. War Machine, they have Cuba Gooding Jr. I mean, he was hot in the 90s as an actor, not
too young,
as
though.
in looks. Yeah.
He wouldn't have worked opposite.
Well, he did.
Oh, Denzel would have been a good War Machine, actually.
Yeah.
Cuba would have been a good Black Panther.
Cuba worked good off of Tom Cruise in Show Me the Money.
Yeah, I think he would have been a better Black Panther, and
okay.
Denzel would have been.
I like that.
Because you can buy Denzel as a military man.
Yep. Thor. Ready for this one? Dolph Lundgren.
I don't.
In the 90s, I can see that.
Masters of the Universe era?
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
I can see that. Put a wig on him. Now, this one I don't know about.
Well, he would have had a mullet.
Thor with a mullet would have been the most glorious thing in the world.
All you need to do is take the sword out of Masters of the Universe movie and put a hammer there instead.
Yes! Oh, my God.
Somebody can do that.
Please, somebody Photoshop that if you're watching. The Hulk, they have David Duchovny.
I've heard that a lot, and I think he would crush it as Banner.
As Banner, yeah. I think so. Doctor Strange, Keanu Reeves.
No, not back then.
No,
that was pre-Matrix.
That was pre-Matrix. So he was like more Bill and Ted. Like Speed. He was Speed.
But that's not Doctor Strange.
No, not Doctor Strange.
Who would have been a good Doctor Strange back then? I'm trying to think of what else came out back then. That you could pull somebody from. I think you pull some of the '80s guys, like a.
You could.
Like a Charlie Sheen back then.
Charlie Sheen back then, that's not bad.
Or a or you make him a little bit older. You do Michael Douglas back then.
Yeah,
he would have crushed as Doctor Strange. Coming off Fatal Attraction, not Fatal Instinct.
Fatal Instinct.
Basic Instinct. Fatal Instinct was the Leslie Nielsen one.
Same thing. Whatever. Could cast Leslie Nielsen.
But yeah, right before that, I think Michael Douglas would have crushed as Doctor Strange back then.
Nick Fury, Keith David. You remember Keith David?
I do, but Nick Fury would have been white in the 90s.
It's true.
Because they didn't come out with the Ultimates version of Nick Fury till the early 2000s.
I still don't have a problem with it. He's got the look. Like he's got the picture they're using of him is
it would have been David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Because David Hasselhoff played Nick Fury in the 90s.
We would have got the Hoff.
There's pictures. He played Nick Fury in a movie.
I know. Oh, I know. I saw. Awful. You say awful. I say awesome. Loki. They have Gary Oldman.
No, way too old. Even back then.
In the 90s?
He looked old.
Yeah.
He wasn't, old. But he did not look young in the 90s.
No. I could even see Christian Slater almost as a Loki.
I would take that. Like I said, I think the bad guy for Slater looks better, but he would have pulled off that.
Yeah. They have Thanos here as Ron Perlman. I love Ron Perlman. So
90s Ron Perlman, though? What was Ron Perlman doing in the 90s?
Not much.
He was out of Name of the Rose, right? But he wasn't in...
He wasn't nearly as big as he is now.
Well, no. You could do that. Depends on when in the 90s.
Star-Lord. Here comes the Guardians.
Oh, God.
Star-Lord. Brendan Fraser. I'll take it from the 90s.
Yeah.
Gamora, Halle Berry.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go late 90s then, right?
Right. Nebula, they have Demi Moore.
Ooh, that would have been nice. Yeah. Striptease era? Yeah.
Rocket Raccoon. The picture they use. So they have Joe Pesci as Rocket Raccoon. Okay? The picture that they used in this thing of pictures is his picture from Goodfellas.
Really?
Yeah.
They could have used Lethal Weapon like 4?
Yes.
With the bleached hair? That would have been the shot.
As a voice actor, I could see him doing Rocket Raccoon in the 90s.
Yeah.
Drax. This one I don't know. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, he's big enough, but...
I guess.
And the last one they have is Mantis. They have Winona Ryder.
All right. Yeah, I should have been okay. So I realized, too, they did forget that was still popular. I mean, you could have done... Well, no. You could have done Rob Lowe as Iron Man back then.
Oh, yes, you could have. There is an 80s one somewhere.
But it's not like the 80s actors all disappeared because they were in their 20s then. They were in their 30s in the 90s. They're all contemporaries of Tom Cruise.
So there's a couple... I'm just gonna look at a couple of these replies that people made, but Wesley Snipes as T'Challa, Denzel as Killmonger?
No.
Yeah. This guy says I'd swap Denzel for Wesley Snipes as Black Panther and cast Denzel as Killmonger. Swap Duchovny for Steve Buscemi as the Hulk. No. Nope. And then some of these just go down the rabbit hole of horribleness. Yeah. Sean Bean as Thor.
That would have been okay.
Yeah, but I mean, Dolph's pretty good.
I mean, in the 90s, honestly, you could have even gone Harrison Ford as Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
that was still clear in Present Danger era.
He was what, 81 in the 90s?
Well, I mean, 30 years ago, he was in his early 50s, late 40s.
Cannot wait for that movie to come out.
He's going to be 92 when that movie comes out.
He probably, as long as they break his leg again. I just want that movie to come out because it puts him back on the talk circuit, and he's awesome on talk shows. Because he's cranky, grumpy, and he just doesn't give a flying about anything.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have to.
No. He's married to Cat Grant.
Yeah, Callista.
Yeah. But that's it. I mean, that's all I have for today. There wasn't a lot of geek news this week.
It was an action-packed hour.
It was. We're hitting right there, and I like it.
So hey, thanks everybody for finding the Geek Spot with us. Thanks for joining the chat, joining the conversation. Make sure that if you're listening on podcasts, if you're on Spotify, check out the surveys we're posting every week. That you can join the conversation there too. If you're on iTunes, drop us a review, drop us that 5-star rating on there. Tell a friend. You can find us as always at YouTube, at Twitch, on the Facebook, and anywhere that you find your podcasts. You can find me at jackkidmusic.com. See my schedule. I got at least a show a week for the rest of the year, pretty much.
Whoa, that went dark.
It did.
Yep, that's because I shut the other computer off and it shut off my light.
It's cool. So you can find me all those places. You can find Frank online at places.
Yep.
Probably gaming or thinking about the Sopranos.
Dreaming
of the Sopranos.
And stay tuned for the Facebook name change that should be coming this week.
Oh.
They're going to change the name to be more in the metaverse of what they're doing.
Oh, well, that one, Facebook will still be Facebook, though.
No, they're changing the name of Facebook, they said.
No, the parent company, like Google, changed it to Alphabet.
Oh.
That's all. They're going to keep Instagram and Facebook all the same names. They're just going to change the parent company name to change lawsuits out.
Well, that's boring.
Yeah.
I wanted Facebook to be something different. Ooh, that's orange. Ooh.
But we will see everybody next week. We should be back at the regular time next week.
Sounds good.
Barring anything crazy. And we'll see you then. Thanks
Bye,
for joining.
have a great week. Nope.